Good evening, boys and girls. I salute you and I welcome you today for the lesson of today. I want us to go through a paper that we have gotten from our friends. This is the high time we want to know what our schools are doing. Utabiri wa mtihani wa kitaifa nchini Kenya, the Kenya Certificate of Primary Education, Social Science Region. This is the 2022. We are trying to go around and see what others are doing, at least if we can be helped so that we score the highest marks possible. And I want us to work together in this journey. I want us to work together so that we can achieve what is supposed to be achieved. Then we have some work around here. I think you can see my questions very well. And I'm requesting learners that you do what is supposed to be done by going through questions very well. I think you can see from across the range you have some questions, the question number 60 and the question number 51. Today I want us to have a discussion from the bottom. The second highest court in Kenya, they're asking about the second highest. As we know, in Kenya we have the judicial systems led by the Chief Justice, who is being appointed by the President, and later again sworn in by the President. So the second highest, the court in Kenya are classified into, in fact we can say three. We have the superior courts in Kenya, led by the Supreme Court. Then we have the Court of Appeal, we have the High Court. The later we have the magistrate courts under the magistrates. The highest magistrate court is the Chief Magistrates Court. Then the lowest magistrate court is the District Magistrate Court. Then from there we have special courts in Kenya. An example, we have the Juvenile Court for kids, members under the age of 18. We have the Cadets Courts for the Muslims. We have the Anti-Corruption Courts. We have the Cadets Courts for the Muslims. We have the Martial Courts for the police officers in Kenya. So all those are courts that we have classified under the special courts in Kenya. But now the question was, the second highest court in Kenya is the Court of Appeal. We have the Supreme Court as the highest under the judge. We have the Court of Appeal at the second one, and the lowest Supreme Court, the lowest Superior Court in Kenya is the High Court. So the judges of the High Courts in Kenya, the judges of the Superior Courts in Kenya are being appointed by the President. The judges of the Supreme Court, the judges of the Court of Appeal, the judges of the High Court, they are all appointed by the President. And we have the magistrates of the subordinate courts in Kenya, employed by the Judicial Service Commission. Then also they can ask about the issue of what happens in the Supreme Court. Remember, there is no case that starts from the Supreme Court apart from one. The presidential election petitions starts from the Supreme Court. And also there is no case that starts from the Court of Appeal. All cases in the Court of Appeal, they are being appealed from the High Court. So there is no case that starts from the Court of Appeal. All cases originate from the High Court. And remember, if a member of parliament, the MCA, we have the governor, the senator, they have some issues with the elections, they are supposed to file their petition at the High Court of Kenya. But for presidential issues pertaining to elections, we look for we make our submissions or petitions at the Supreme Court of Kenya. Which one of the following is the most recent means of communication in Africa? We have the flat screen television, we have the radio, in fact we have the social media. The social media is the most recent means of communication. And as you can see, nowadays we have social media that is very common under the youth. The main means of communication or interaction among the youth in Kenya nowadays and in the world nowadays is the social media among the youth. But if they ask you the major means of interaction nowadays, it is educational activities. Educational activities has come now to be the major means of interaction in Kenya today. Educational activities, but among the youth we have the social media, and during the past we had trading activities. The radio also, it is a means of communication that can reach many people at the same time, the radio. So the most recent, we have what we call the social media. We have the social media. Another good question here, we have an African map. You can see it very well how it is being drawn. And we are being requested to answer question number 55 to number 58. You can see the mountains marked M. These are the mountains. The northern part of Africa, we have a river here. We have some ocean currents. We have also these winds. We have a certain country down here. This is Madagascar. Of course, the largest island in Kenya. Then we have another, this a latitude, the equator. Then we have the Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degrees north, and the Tropic of Capricorn, 23.5 degrees south. Then we have the equator, which is 0 degrees. Equation comes like this. The multipurpose river project Knec was mainly established to do all to offer services. K. This is Volta scheme. Remember, in Africa, we have the multipurpose river project. We have the Volta scheme at this region. We have the Aswan High Dam project here. We have the Tana at this point in Kenya. And also we have the Zambezi river project here. Among those projects in Africa, it is only Aswan High Dam which was started to produce water for irrigation or to store water for irrigation. Since Egypt is found in a dry area, Sahara Desert, remember the northern part of Africa is dry. So Egypt is a country found in a desert, and that's why Gamal Abdel Nasser came up with this project of starting an irrigation scheme to store water for irrigation to increase food production as one high dam. This is Volta. We needed the power in the region, so Volta was started to increase power production in the region and also to reduce even the cost of importing power from the other countries. So Volta, it is electricity or expanding of the industries. There's one high dam, we had irrigation farming, or to increase food production, or to put more land into production. They have the river Tana, the Seven Forks River scheme in Tana. We have them. Even we speak, the two not yet completed, the Grand Falls and the Grand Falls. They are not yet completed. Under the river Tana, it is electricity. Then we have Zambezi electricity. Remember, Zambia, we have a lot of minerals like copper. We need power. It was very costly to import coal from South Africa. So they came up with this project, the Zambezi and Zambia, to come up with this project of producing power because the two countries needed a lot of energy. The question number 55 says that the multipurpose river project marked K was mainly established to do what? Where's K? Koi is here. We have said the Volta. To increase food production, this is Aswan at this point here. To control flooding, no. To promote transport, it is to generate hydroelectric power. Of course, yes. The preferring winds marked J. Or the J are here. These are winds. We call them the onshore winds because they blow from the sea to the land. Onshore winds. These are the westerly winds. We have also the westerly winds at this part. These are the southwesterly winds. Southwesterly winds. The answer is there. Southwest monsoon winds, of course, yes. Not westerly winds. These are the westerly winds. These are the westerly winds. These are the southwesterly. Southwesterly, boys and girls. Look at this picture. These are southwesterly. Southwesterly. Westerly winds, westerly winds. Of course, they bring a lot of rainfall to the continent of Africa. Remember, they are onshore, rich in moisture. They carry a lot of content from the sea. So the region receives a lot of rainfall due to the westerly winds that we are having here. Then, the landlocked market T. This is Swaziland, a very small country in South Africa, Swaziland. The mountain market M. The mountain market M. These are Atlas Mountains. They are formed through the faulting process. Remember, we have Atlas Mountains here. we have Drakensberg, and also we have the Cape Ranges. The fold mountains that we have talked, the Atlas Mountain in the northern part of Africa, the Drakensberg and the Atlas Mountain and the Cape Ranges down here, they were all formed through the falling process. The answer is there? Yes, we have falling process. The question number next here, it is 55-3, I think. The following fish are caught in marine waters except we have the mullet, this is a marine, the snapper is a marine, black bass, it is an inland, that is found in cooler places, and the yellow tails, these are the marine. So the black bass is an inland, majorly found in cool places. Remember, under fishing activities, in grade 7 we discussed about marine and the inland, where this question was extracted from, and we say that marine fisheries, we lack what you call the modern fishing and storage materials, since there is inadequate funds. The funds are not adequate to purchase the modern fishing and the storage materials. So the main challenge facing what you call fishing in the marine is inadequate funds to purchase modern fishing and storage equipment. Then also we have the challenge of what you call the most pollutant in marine is the oil spillage from the tankers in the ocean. We have fishing lakes, and before fishing lakes, we have what you call the trolling as a method, whereby the trolling is the best method used in deep sea or near the seabed. Sometimes they say that if the sea is rough, the waters are rough, we apply what you call long lining. Fishing in lakes, we have some challenges, like for example now Victoria, we have the water weeds. Turkana, we have poor transport. Naivasha, we have overfishing. So the overfishing challenge in Lake Naivasha, we have Turkana, poor transport, and Lake Victoria have what you call the water weeds that makes fishing difficulty in those lakes. And remember one thing, under what you call fishing activities, the best method of fishing in lakes is pass seining. Pollutants in lakes, we have industrial waste. So the best way to control pollution in lakes is construction of industries far away from the lakes. And even these rivers, we have what you call the soil particles. The system of administration used by the Belgians after the King Leopold II was forced to surrender was. Remember the Congo, Belgians in Congo, during the Paris Conference of 1884 and 1885, they agreed, the conference which was led by Otto von Bismarck, they agreed and recognized the King Leopold II of Belgium as the leader of the Congo Free State. So the Congo under the King Leopold II was regarded as a private property. And when he left, now the Belgians applied what you call direct rule, whereby the King Leopold II applied the paternalism. So when the Belgians left, when the King Leopold II left, Belgians applied direct rule. So it is direct rule. And assimilation was applied in French, in Senegal by the French. In which month is winter experienced in the northern part of Africa? Winter. Remember, we have this formula, Jour de Masse, the formula, we have the formula here. We say this is Jour de Masse, then we say this 12, 13, so we is the formula here, that the month of June 21st, we have a summer solstice. And the question is, in which month is winter experienced in the northern part of Africa? June 21st, summer solstice, the northern part of Africa. Remember, we have Jesus, my Savior, died. This is tropical of Cancer, Equator, March and September, December in Capricorn. So June 21st, summer solstice. December 22nd, we have winter solstice. Then March 21st and September 23rd, we have the equinox. So, in which month is winter experienced in the northern part of Africa? It is the month of, if we have June in Tropic of Cancer, and we have December in the Tropic of Capricorn. So if it is June, we experience summer, the northern part of Africa, during the month of June. Then we experience winter, December. And if we have December summer, then we have winter in the northern part of Africa. So in which month is winter experienced in the northern part of Africa? In which month? In fact, is the month of we have the month of December. We have the month of December. Madaraka Days is celebrated to mark the day Kenya attained. We have independence, Kenya, full republic, self-internal role, and the multipartyism. Multipartyism in Kenya came in 1991. Then we had self-internal role. Madaraka Day, it is when Kenya got what we call independence. Self-internal role came in December 1963. This is 19 December 1963. Self-internal role and the republic, it is 12th. It was December 1964. Then we have independence. It was June. My pen is not working. June 1963. Then we have multipartyism. I have said 1991. So Madaraka, it is independence. The newly elected and nominated members of National Assembly are sworn in by, we have the Speaker of the National. They are saying the newly elected and nominated members of National Assembly. The newly elected. And I want us to be very clear in this question. The question number 49, the newly elected and nominated members of Parliament. If it is the newly elected members, the newly elected and nominated members, if the National Assembly is ongoing, that we already have the Speaker in place, and we have Parliament session happens, maybe somebody comes through a by-election, the person who swears in, this person is the Speaker. But if it is the whole house is new, the whole house, like now what happened in Kenya, just last month, but 1 August, that all members were new. Even the Speaker was not well known who will be the Speaker. When all members are in the whole house, it is the clerks of the assembly who swears in members of the assembly. And remember one thing, and the same segment, the first activity done in a newly elected house, is that the members of the assembly are being sworn in. Then the second one, they elect now the Speaker. So the newly elected and nominated members of the National Assembly are sworn in by the Speaker of the National Assembly. But if the whole house is new, the whole parliament is new, like when we go for a general election, then we have all new parliaments, and even those members who retained, they come in now as new parliamenters because they must be sworn in before they start transacting business in the house. So if the whole house is new, the person who swears in are the clerks of the National Assembly. But if the house is proceeding, somebody comes in as a result of a by-election, then we can say that that person becomes is being sworn in by the Speaker of the National Assembly. And remember, the Speaker of the National Assembly is the head of the legislature, and the major role of the legislature is to make laws, not amending laws. The major role for legislature is to make laws. Amendment comes later. The major role for the members of parliament is to make laws. Remember, we have other roles. An example, discussing of and approving of the national budget, vetting of the newly appointed members of the cabinet. Any appointed person by the president must be vetted by the members of the assembly. Also, we have discussing of the matters affecting like now the cost of living is very high. The members of the assembly should come and defend the wananchi, those members who voted for them. The question number 48. The foreign traditional foreign leaders did not embrace. Embrace means what? It is to welcome. To welcome those members into their territories. The European occupation in their territories. Except the Mkito Wanameme of the Babukuso. This man resisted completely. He never wanted the interference of the white people, the British. The chief Lewanika of the Lozi. The chief Lewanika collaborated. He was advised by his friend, Chief Gama of the Ngwata kingdom, that once you collaborate, will be made a paramount chief, then you enjoy the privileges of being a collaborator. So the chief Lewanika collaborated. So the chief Lewanika, impressed those members. The chief Mukwawa and the Kabaka Mwanga, the foreign traditional leaders, did not embrace. So the one who did not embrace is Kita Wanameme, the chief Mukwawa of the Riparian, and the Kabaka Mwanga of the Buganda. But the chief Lewanika embraced it. Who among the foreign early visitors to East Africa took part in the abolition of the slave trade? I want you to take you to this man known as we have Dr. Livingstone, who was born as a missionary and an explorer from Scotland. He was sent by the Royal Geographical Society to confirm John Speke's discovery of Lake Victoria as the source of River Nile. He did his exploration in Eastern Africa and Central Africa along River Zambezi. His effort led to a stoppage of slave trade. He discovered the Victoria Falls on River Zambezi. He died in 1873 around Lake Benguelu in Zambia, and his body was embalmed by his servants, Sasi and Chumo, taken to the coast where it was shipped to Europe. So the answer is Dr. Livingstone. This man, through his effort, we saw that his effort led to the stoppage of the slave trade in the continent of Africa. The highest non-volcanic mountain in East Africa, we have Mount Kilimanjaro, we have the Mount Kenya, we have Mount Nyiragongo, and Ruwenzori. Non-volcanic. A non-volcanic mountain, we mean the block mountains. So we have Kilimanjaro is the highest mountain, volcanic mountain. We have Mount Kenya the same, and the Nyiragongo DRC Congo. Ruwenzori is a non-volcanic, the largest non-volcanic mountain in Africa. And remember, it is the only block mountain with what you call snow at the top. Which of the following institution of marriage system is strictly monogamous and does not allow divorce? Islamic is polygamy. Somebody is being allowed to marry a limited number of wives, up to 4. Christianity marriage, this one is purely monogamous and does not allow divorce, so the answer is Christianity. Civil marriage is a polygamy, and the customary marriage is a polygamy, so the answer was supposed to be Christianity marriage. The following descriptions about a certain pastoral community in Africa: they lived in temporary shelters. They practiced transhumance. Transhumance, this is the act of a movement seasonally from one place to another in search of water and pasture. It is majorly done by the pastoral communities in Africa, the Maasai members, the Fulani, and the Swana members of Swana. So the transhumance practice, the act of moving from one place to another in search of water and pasture seasonally. We follow the rain patterns. They occupy the vast savanna belt, and they keep large herds of cattle, goats, and some horses. These are the Fulani. And Fulani are the largest pastoral community in Africa and in the world. They keep horses to monitor and for searching of their livestock. The last question for today. The copper mining in Zambia is mainly transported by railway line to which port for export? We have what we call Zambia, Lusaka, or Tazara, Dar es Salaam railway line. Tazara, Dar es Salaam railway line. So Zambia is a landlocked country. They depend the port of Dar es Salaam to transport what we call minerals from Zambia to overseas. So it is Dar es Salaam. The following countries are connected with the Koto-Nagao-Auja highway. Which one is not? We have Niger, we have Benin, we have Morocco. So I want to show you something here over those roads that we are discussing here. How roads are being connected in Africa. The roads in Africa and how they are connected. We have the Trans-Saharan Highway that starts from Mombasa all the way to what you call Abuja, Nigeria. Then we have what you call the roads in Africa, how they are being connected. The Trans-African Highway, they are from Mombasa to Abuja, Nigeria. We have what you call the Great North Road that connects the southern part of Africa from the Cape Town all the way to Cairo in Egypt. Then we have what you call the Koto-Nagao-Auja. This is the map I was rocking. So my camera, yes, good. You can see the black line. This is Mombasa. It travels all the way to Kampala, Bangui, DRC, then Lagos, Nigeria. Then we have the Koto-Nagao-Auja. You can see the key here. This is the road that travels all the way. This is Morocco. This is Algeria. We have Mali. So we have what you call the Koto-Nagao-Auja. They are saying that this road connects Benin with Morocco. So the question, before we answer the question, you can also go through the Trans-African Highway that connects the Eastern Africa to Western Africa, runs from Mombasa to Lagos, Nigeria. The Great North Road connects Cape Town to South Africa, with from Cape Town in South Africa to Cairo in Egypt. Trans-Saharan Highway connects Lagos and Algiers of Algeria, the Koto-Nagao-Auja from Benin to Morocco. And the road has a branch that stretches to Dakar in Senegal. So we can answer the question, which country is not connected with the Koto-Nagao-Auja? We have Niamey, we have Niger, Niamey, Chad. We have what you call, I want to give you a clear sight of the town of those countries that are being closed by the Niamey. We have, in fact, we have Morocco. We have Benin, Niger. Then we have Mali. In fact, Mali is not connected. You can see this is Mali. This is Benin. No, Mali is connected. In fact, this question seems to be having a problem. So the question number 42, this is Niger, Benin, Mali, and Morocco. They are all connected. In fact, the question is wrong. So the last question here, the following are certain uses of certain mineral used in the manufacturing of cables, used to make gas and water pipes, motor vehicle radiators. This is what we call copper, likely to have copper for making of vehicle radiators, water pipes, and the manufacturing of cables. So for those few remarks today, I would like you to thank you for listening to me. Then before we call it a day, it is good that we have some 2-3 questions down that learners are going to take them, and this one is going to assist them in the revision as we prepare for the KCPE of the end of the year, by the end of the year. So I want us to have these questions down, and I'm going to capture them. The first question is asking about what we call pyrethrum growing in Kenya has declined mainly as a result of. You can go through the answers are there: high cost of production, poor roads in the growing areas, poor and irregular payments of farmers, changing of the climate change. So that question done to be answered. Then we have this one: the main reason why pastoralism has succeeded in Botswana. Botswana allows the cattle pastoral receive a lot of support. The conditions are favorable. There is a good market in Botswana. We have that question done. Another one: the main reason for construction of the dam along River Zambezi was to. You have that question down with the answers. Which of the following is the main benefit brought about by Lake Volta? The benefit: towards attraction, reduced the deposition of silt into the ocean. It made transport between northern and the southern of Ghana easier. It created employment during its. So we have the main benefit. And which of the following was not a result of construction of the Aswan High Dam? Was not a result. Not a reason, was not a result. So we have that one down. And finally, 3 of the following are true about the forest in Scotland. Which one is not? I have that one down. The biggest problem facing forest in DRC Congo, we have illegal cutting of trees, or exploitation of most valuable trees, and the long distance covered to get the good to the market, and the huge size of the trees, which makes them difficult to harvest. So I have those questions down for today as we keep on moving towards the KCP of this year. Have a good evening, and may God bless you so much. Shalom.